Good morning and welcome to the Community Breakfast Show today, 22nd November 2021. We hope you had a productive weekend. And in today's Community Breakfast Show, we have an interesting topic for you. We are talking about Chivolia compound in Lusaka. Today's topic is, does Chivolia compound in Lusaka need to be demolished? We will be joined by Harry Mwangankumbula Ward Councillor Mr. Aaron Mwanza and an NGO working in Chivolia compound, that is the Future Foundation. We have the co-founder, who is Mr. Clinton Gando. Alex, how was your weekend and what are your expectations for today's show?
Well, my weekend was quite awesome, but tiresome as well, because I had a lot of activities on my desk. But anyway, we are here, and this morning we are quite expectant, discussing a topic that has been over a lot of conversations in the public domain, and that's Chivolia. I mean, what's the way forward in terms of settling issues that are surrounding Chivolia compound? As you may know, that's where a lot of criminal activities mostly occur. So I hope we're going to find a solution together with our viewers out there who can actually provide solutions as they call in for contributions and also ask questions that will be tackled here. But before we just get there, let's do some activities. I'm sure we know our drill here. When you get here in the morning, you need to be prepared to go and do some exercise. So just go direct into the morning boost for today.
Good morning, Camnet viewers, and welcome to Morning Boost. I'm so glad that you've tuned in. Let's do some simple, basic workouts for you to stay fit and you go about your day. All right, so we'll start with a warm-up for a minute. Let's go. That's 1 minute warm-up to warm up your body. Relax your muscles. Let's bounce. Let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and how are you? Let's go. So it's gonna be a 1 minute warm-up. Just a warm-up, let's go. Almost there. Okay, we're gonna run now. Let's go. So we're gonna work out for 3 minutes, and thereafter we'll do a cool down. We're cooling down. Let's go. See what I'm doing? That's the movement of my feet. That. I need that from you. Let's go. Let's run. Let's go. Very basic today. Keep going. And 4, 3, 2, match now. Okay, that was your first workout. Let's go to the next one. Kicks now. 1. Kick and let the blood circulate on your legs. Let's go. 3 minutes workout. After that, you do a cool down. Kick. Let's go. Kick. Bring it to the knee now. Knee high. Squeeze the tummy when you do that. Let's go. Squeeze here. Go. Squeeze here. That's the part I'm working on. Let's go. Easy. Back to running now. Let's go. You need this every morning. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Go. And kick now. Kick, side kick. This side. Back. This side. Kick. Go. Lift your leg high and kick. Go. 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 And that's all you need every morning. Let's conclude now. Let's go. And let's run. Let's run. Bring in the kick now. Kick. Kick. Again. Kick. Bring it to the knee now. Knee. Knee. Last kicks. This one. And this one. This one. Let's go. Imagine. Very simple what you've done today. Looks like you have not done anything, and yet it's able to work out. Let's march. Let's go. You're almost there. It's almost 5 minutes of a workout. So thank you so much for tuning in. Basic workouts in there today, and have a blessed day. And I'm signing out. My name is Isaac Matsa.
Welcome back to the Community Breakfast Show, and we're now looking at zooming the headlines. Yesterday, on the community desk, we saw an interesting story done by Prudence Trotter, which was talking about local businesses being given an opportunity against foreign businesses. Alex, I'm sure you saw that story where they were calling for the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprises Development to ban giving businesses to outside people in terms of block making. So what do you think about that story? Do you think maybe that is the way forward? That's what's your thought on that issue? Yeah,
first of all, we should investigate why these local business owners are actually advocating for that. Basically, it's about competition in this business sector, where we're having the foreign companies doing more in terms of block making than the local block makers. So in terms of comparing who's making more profit, as it were, you find that these foreigners are making more than compared to our local people. So with the incoming of the Ministry of SMEs, we hope that the playing field in terms of business will be quite conducive even for the local people. That's why the ministry was formed. Otherwise, it would have not been formed if at all it cannot serve the people of Zambia in terms of business advancements. So that's why they are calling for such measures, so that we can have a very conducive and equal opportunities for our local people. But I don't know if not issuing license to our foreigners can actually be fair to them as well, because they are coming here for investment. But we'll see how best we can handle it with the minister view on the whole issue.
And one thing that I'm hoping is that in the previous, we've seen before, last year we saw where government banned the importation of onions and potatoes, and the local market actually failed to meet those standards. So I think first we have to make an evaluation. Is our local market able to sustain?
Yes, yes.
And I don't know, again, basically, I think we have to enhance competition, but I guess it's up to the Minister of SMEs to decide on how best local businesses can be supported. So we'll take a look at that story and discuss further on the same.
The block-making business has been booming in Zambia owing to the fact that Zambia is a developing country and new infrastructure is taking shape. This has seen the block-making business, which was mostly dominated by the local Zambians, now being taken over by foreign investors who have come with improved machinery which allows them to produce blocks and pavers in large quantities compared to the local people. The influx of foreigners in the business has seen local block makers being kicked out of the business, which to others has been their own sources of income. The Block Makers Association of Zambia is now calling on the new government through the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise to consider suspending the issuance of licenses to new foreign investors in the sector, but instead empower the local people with the right equipment so that the business can be reserved for the local Zambians, which will help create employment.
Foreigners that we have left to come and do the same business that Zambians are doing, they're depriving our people. You know, these foreigners are depriving our people. This is a very big challenge, and we need a policy change, a policy shift, a policy that will have regulations, a policies that will be strict policies for Zambians. This business was started by Zambians, and it has been taken over by the foreigners. And the leaders are just looking, and the economy is going down day.
Mr. Piri adds that there is no technology or complicated process involved in the making of blocks, but only a mixture of sand and cement, which can be done by the local people and does not require any foreign investor.
It's a simple business. You only get cement, sand, and water. What technology do you require? There's not a technology that is required. You know, no technology at all. Let them do their businesses in their own countries, which requires so much technology. And if they need to come and invest in this nation, they should bring large businesses that Zambians can't do. Not depriving Zambians, taking away businesses from Zambians, no.
Probably 1,000. Here 1,000 kuti isire kugulisiwa bane is asire almost 2 months. Nikagulisako 50 kwacha, ayari 50. Nitenge 100 kwacha nije pa nyumba, nitenge 100 kwacha nipeleke ku school ya mwana yasira.
But Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Elias Mubanga had not yet responded to the call by broadcast time. For now, we will wait to see how the government will ensure local businesses are reserved for the local people, as was their campaign message. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
So we have seen that interesting story there, and we sure hope that the Minister of SMEs will actually look into seeing how these businesses can be promoted. Alex, what else do you have on zooming the headlines on today's community desk?
Yeah, it's almost the same thing, because we're having another story from Kanyama, that is Kanyama compound right here in Lusaka, where business owners are complaining. If you remember the outage, power outage that we experienced in the recent time due to some rainfall. So they had no power for some good 3 days. So because of that, they were faced with the challenge of losing their products, like in terms of those perishable goods, such as tomatoes, meats, and everything, those that have to be put in the fridge. So if you see that they've lost a lot of goods in terms of even monetary funds and everything that has to do with the business. So this is a story that they're just complaining to say the outage really affected their business. So you can just get a look on the footage that was reported by Zipporah Mshara.
These blown-off roofing sheets and damage to this building are just another negative effect of strong winds and heavy downfall of rain the country has been experiencing. This is Kanyama, new site and service in Lusaka, where apart from causing damage to buildings, the strong wind and rain have left electricity cables intertwined, causing a blackout in the area. Residents here have told Camnet News that this is now day 3 since the blackout and that no help has come through, despite them reporting the matter to the power utility company, ZESCO.
Malata yanachoka paja kwenda kugira po ile hapo pamamba na ntambo za kumiana. So 3 days now malaiti sikumankala kuno. Bazesco tutakatuma phone bakamba church tizabwera but still sibabwera. So this is our problem we have here in Kanyama. Most of the time we do have challenges like this. So even outside my shop side panja mansomba manyama ya moola bambotenga manyama kwambopeleka kuli malaiti. So please we need an urgent basi batutandize ku malaiti kuti tikaleko na malaiti, and then ntambo bazikonzeko ntambo nizogwirana even right now nizogwirana.
Kuna bwa bwa chimpepo shukuru chinanyamula malata kumenya pamtenje kumenya kumtambuza malaiti. So pa chinabwira chimpepo chenzi na power maningi malaiti kuna bwa kwa gaspaki wazesco problem etidanda lako ni mozi kubura chimpepo kampepo cheka ngono ka mistake ngono pesa malaiti yaenda so apatinga na affect ya makodrums banana siku pya mushe if what meaning tipanga chabe malosi so bazesiko wangaleko serious na vewa chita tupetinga pembeko kwa agent alliance amnanga kwanisire kutitaniza kufali malaiti ndio ulitumapereka ku bazesiko kulibeta mnewa chitabu.
Those with businesses state that this has negatively affected them as they have had to throw away their perishable goods, leaving their fridges now empty. They have expressed concern over the response rate by the power utility company and have called for quick action to situation.
Pamene kuna bora tipepo kinajua maachani ndambo za malaiti. Manja pa kwa pita 3 days no malaiti mandia naonongeka vitu vonse inamba vonongeka. Tupepa for azesco wala tukonzesere kwa malaiti.
So pa business ili branch kwa tu munsomba yanu invest ka branch nongeka na
nongeka pa tunachosa tunatayana kutaya. Kwa 3 days ni kula. Ndio yose tunachosa tunataya.
In a recent appearance on Camnet TV, ZESCO Senior Corporate Affairs Manager Dr. John Kunda indicated that the company will work towards improving its response rate to electricity reports. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. So that's a sad story there. But again, Alex, I think this brings to light issues of insuring businesses. What's your thought? Do you think these business owners should take insurance into consideration?
Exactly. I think that's what even the new administration is calling for. It's whereby every person have an advantage in terms of loss, that they will be able to fall back on something to do with insurance. Because if you have your products maybe worth millions, you don't have insurance, where are you going to run to? So meaning you've lost everything. So there is need for even awareness in terms of sensitization, so that these people can be well informed about how best they can go about insuring their products and their businesses.
And also the importance of maybe insurance company putting up attractive policies, because I hear most people complaining about these insurance companies. But we see that most Zambians depend on small and medium enterprises, and so it is important to insure them.
Yeah.
And just about now, we're getting ready to invite Harry Mongankumbula Ward Councillor, Mr. Aaron Mwanza from Chivolia Compound. And so, Alex, we're just going to talk about Chivolia. What is the situation in Chivolia Compound right now?
Well, I've had quite a number of experiences when it comes to Chivolia, myself on a personal aspect, where I had a loss of my gadget.
I remember that day.
Right? Yeah, we were together, you remember. So it's quite unfortunate that what really saddens me is even in the middle of an act, a criminal act that is, people just watch you, and you are screaming, you are saying help and everything, but people are just like passing, just
in broad daylight. In broad daylight.
Yes,
and I remember that was around 11 a.m. in the morning.
So why having such a situation? Because a lot of people have really been victimized of such criminal activities. So Chivolia really, we'll hear from the councillor himself the way forward, if at all there is hope for bringing back sanity in the community altogether. Okay,
can you just briefly share with us your experience that day when your phone was stolen? What exactly was the situation? What really happened?
Okay, so wow, being a journalist, you know, you need to be on your gadget and type the intros as it were. So there's what we call in journalism the intros. That is the script for the editor to go through before it's being delivered to the caster. So those intros come a little bit earlier before the broadcast time elapse. So as a journalist, you need to be, whenever you're coming from the source, you need to be typing that. So me, I was doing the same, typing on my phone and doing some research even on my phone. I didn't realize that my window is just not really halfway, but just a bit open, which exposed my phone to the guys there, who actually are known to be quite good in terms of snatching things from the people. So for me, it was quite a new experience, because I've never really experienced such, and seeing someone experiencing such, like being victimized in such, as it were. So for me, it was really quick. The guy just came from nowhere and grabbed it from inside. He just passed through the hand and he took it from my hand. We tried to even struggle. My nail also even broke from there. So for me, I was like, am I dreaming or what? Because I've never really experienced that. And then we tried with my driver to chase him. I don't know if you know this as you go towards Chivolia Primary School, huh? There's this where they sell charcoal and everything. There's quite a business activities right here. And then we tried to chase the guy. Just those women trying, shouting on us to say, don't follow them, they'll kill you, they'll kill you, don't follow them, don't enter there, they'll kill you. And for me, I was like, no, let's go, we will follow, he's a criminal. I know they'll kill you. That's how we stopped. We're just looking at him like this, few meters away from us. He's even laughing, he's going like that, he's not even running, you know. And for me, I was really hurt. You know, it's gadget, you know, I can't even mention the figures because it was quite touchy for me. It was expensive gadgets. So I'm sure I'm not alone. There are a lot of people, other people who have actually experienced such. And the most worst and saddening part is like you can't even have help from the police themselves. When you reach there, I remember driving to the Comesa police post and the officer right there just tells me, Mwana, Kuchibodia. There's nothing we can really do. I'm like, you are my last hope. And if you tell me there's nothing you can do, where am I going to go? You know? So that's how I lost my phone. And up to now, nothing really. So it's quite sad.
Okay, so tomorrow we will be having the police spokesperson, Mr. Ray Hamonga. I'm sure you will help us highlight on what police is doing about Chivolia compound. Yes. But for now, we'll take a look at a story from Chivolia compound where someone was attacked in broad daylight as we get ready to receive Harry Mwangankumbula Ward Councillor, Mr. Aaron Mwanza, and discuss further on the situation in Chivolia. So don't forget to engage us on the lines that are popping up on your screen. We'll take a look at that story now. For a long time now, criminal gangs have terrorized residents of Chivolia compound in Lusaka. Regardless of the time of day or night, the gangs, commonly known as junkies, rob passers-by and often take advantage of traffic congestion to rob unsuspecting motorists. This happens in plain view as no one easily comes to the rescue of victims due to the trend of attackers being armed with knives. One of the victims, Joseph Kambole, who just escaped from an attack after being rescued by a motorist, has narrated his ordeal.
So wamwai na shansha na kuzunguka umozi na mchaka mboyo na wena ngura mchaka office wanakwanisa kutegera vindu batiwezo kuno nirasa manayo.
Residents of this area have called for more police posts to be constructed, stating that the situation has gone out of hand.
Muno muchibolia mwachita over tavutika. Ni muzuba kunkale ni usiku kulibe kunkala safe. Bakawarara bakuchita ataki paliponzi. Ine pamene ili pano nikamba chintu chinani chitikira. Nenzo leselera munyamata banamubera phone. Munyamata wozibika. Kukamana bakawarara bamene abo nibaziba ni manebazi batu banyamata. Kwauza nati mupase ni phone munzanu, beve banachosa mapanga kunichosera mapanga bonse na kunitira matia gasi mumeso.
Chatipe mpako ni bakapokororo mumange ma station yosi yanasiyana mwamene mu maroads umu ya pakeko chape. Ndafya chatifuna iseni help majanki ya chitaova na mapanga alipali pose.
Paso pen kamba. Tachokona na unangu wampoka 6 pin na ndrama zinangu na mafoni. So monga isetenzo pempako monga pali manje boma ilipo tiangane pa.
Harry Mwangankumbula Ward Councillor Mr. Aaron Mwanza has told Camnet News in a phone interview that plans to engage the youth in productive activities are being made as attacks in this area are a daily norm. Meanwhile, coordinator of the Future Foundation, Mr. Clinton Gando, says the non-governmental organization is working in Chivolia to help in finding durable solutions.
Then on the issue of drug abuse, we find that that's what is causing a lot of people, because when you talk of drugs, it has got nicotine. With that nicotine, there's an issue of addiction. So if they don't smoke today, we find that they'll be forced to rob other people.
Chivolia residents have called on the United Party for National Development UPND government to solve the problem of high crime levels in the area once and for all. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
So there you have it, the story which was done by Zipporah Mushala, right there in Chivolia. So today we're discussing Chivolia as the way forward in terms of what do we expect? Do we need to maybe demolish it or maybe just bring sanity back in the community? So the lines are open. If at all you are watching it from our television platform or even Facebook, you can come through with your contribution starting from now. So we'll be expecting your contribution on this quite hot topic. So on set, we have our guest, our first guest, Mr. Mwanza, who's the councillor for Aaron Mwanga Nkumbula ward right there in Chivolya. So he'll be helping us with a lot of pertinent issues around Chivolya. And you can ask him questions as well, and you'll be able to answer your questions. Welcome to a breakfast show, Mr. Mwanza.
Thank you very much.
I hope you're having a great time so far.
Yeah, great time and a tough time as well, trying to stabilize what our community faces.
So being a councillor, I'm sure you have quite a number of experiences right there in the Chivolya compound. Tell us, how was Chivolya formed? What's the background of Chivolya in general?
Okay, first and foremost, before I discuss about the history of Chivolya, I want to appreciate the people of Aaron Mwanga Nkumbula for giving me this mandate. It is a huge mandate, and I'm there to deliver to their expectations. And I want also to extend my gratitude to the UPND party that adopted me. And here we are, and with the agenda that UPND will have, we're going to change our community, Chivolya and Jongleng.
Awesome.
Yes, so Chivolya itself, when we discuss about Chivolya, with the history of Chivolya, it was a farming area. It was established in 1973. Then, before 1973, there was a man called John Leng. Yes, this John Leng, when he passed on, then the wife remained there. So when the wife, she was doing farming there, then when she found a new place, okay, that is Mrs. She left there, the place. So in our language, we call it Chivolya, meaning that a neglected place.
Oh.
So it was neglected, or in Eastern we call it Matongwe, a place whereby you have shifted and there are all the structures.
Okay.
So now,
it's abandoned.
Yes. So in 1973, there was only one lady who took an advantage and started settling there, and a lot of people started coming in and there. Then it's only one lady who started the selling of cannabis. Started with one person.
Oh,
yes.
The same person who started developing the
area. So started selling cannabis, and people are coming. Then as time goes on, in the 80s, early 90s, then the business for drugs, cannabis and drugs increased. A lot of people coming there to sell, to buy drugs, like that.
So fast forward, really, how did we get here? We've been having a lot of criminal activities as we see every day, if not so.
Yes, it's challenging. I will discuss the major issues that are happening in Chivolya. One, alcohol and drug abuse, violence activities, theft, hooliganism, amongst all. And these are being done by not only the residents of Chivolya. It is now a trading place for drugs all over the country. People, they bring drugs to Chivolya because there is free trade. It has been free. They are selling drugs on an open area. But that is not the fault of the people. What caused that? It's degrading economic situation that we are experiencing. We have been experiencing in our country. Then second is lack of employment. Then education, lack of education. Then there's also availability of drugs. Okay? There is availability of drugs. People can easily access drugs. And mind you, there are youths, young people who are growing in Chivolya. They are exposed to these drugs.
Exactly.
And due to lack of social control, okay, children are being introduced to this to drug abuse because they are valuable, they can access it easily, and the peer pressure as well. It starts from the community, schools, and other areas. So now it has become a cancer. It's a problem. It affects everybody, not only the Chivolya residents. You may testify outside there that it's not only the Chivolya residents that are being affected with what is happening in Chiworia. Everybody is being affected. Drug abuse, what causes, we have explained what causes drug abuse. We have to work on those. If we cut the supply of drugs in Chiworia, we improve the face of Chiworia, then we are going to change the mindset. Mindset, you cannot change it if the way the environment in Chiworia is now. The solution is not to demolish Chiworia. The solution is to upgrade it. Slowly, we upgrade it. We engage other stakeholders, and the government has also planned under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Akande Chirema. We have got a better plans of how we want to change this and settlement plan to a good standard for people to live and also to do business.
It seems like what attracts even these youths is the business that goes on within Chiworia, where you describe it as an open trade for drugs. Now, if we are to maybe manage that, or maybe even remove the trade, the openness of trade, do you think we will have some people stuck in Chiworia, or maybe we have a scatter of population in terms of they go to other places and do criminal activities? How do we manage that at the same time?
Okay, you need to understand that what is causing people to continue trading into drug abuse, okay? It's a business. One, because there is what we call personal growth. You have been brought into that. So people think that that's the way of earning what? Income. Okay? So we need to change that perception. How are we going to change it? Let's engage these people who are into drug abuse. Let's also engage those people, the youth surrounding Chiworia, that there are other means and ways that how we can make what resources, such as investing in education, then also training skills and empowering them. And also we should also engage, we should work as a concerted efforts, the church, the community, starting from a household level up to the highest rank. Let's work together in the correct place. We sensitize people the dangers of drug abuse, the impact that it may have to our general and psychological health. By doing so, empowering the youth, they come out, tell them that there is another way how we can do business, you go to school, other way how we can make money apart from drug abuse.
Don't you think that has been attempted before by previous governments and it didn't just work? They've tried to empower them, they've tried to educate them. I'm sure there are even organizations trying to put up sensitization programs for the youths right there in Chiworia. But how come we don't find it to be working?
Your name again?
Alex Chishimba.
Yes, Mr. Alex Chishimba. You know, if I tell you that how other countries have achieved to control drug abuse, okay? It's one, we need to have rehab centers. We don't have such rehab facilities. When you have rehab facilities, we admit these people, okay? Then from there, we need to find them a permanent solution, a long livelihood skills that they will survive with. Not only one attempt, it's a continuous process. Even if there is change of government, each and every government that comes into power, they should continue with this process. Not only one attempt. We prevent, we withdraw those who are into drug abuse, and also future plans should continue. So if we engage the youth, those who are willing, a lot of them, they are willing to come out of drug abuse. Do we have such a facility where people can be admitted for 3 months or 6 months? We do not have. There are only few, they have facilities in our country, and those they charge fees, and you know, with the level of poverty that we have, people don't manage to take their children to rehab centers. So if the government, of which I'm hopeful, will invest into coming up with rehab centers, it will really help. And in doing so, you see there will be a lot of progress in terms of curbing alcohol and drug abuse.
Have you tried to engage the Ministry of Health on the same? And maybe do you think these rehab centers should be set on a national level?
Yes, drug abuse is a problem that affects the whole country. It's not only in Chiworia. Now drugs are available everywhere. So now, if you can manage, at least each province must have what area facility, or even decentralizing to even the district level. In doing so, we are going to really help.
Let's talk about theft. There are high numbers of theft cases that have been recorded in Chibolya compound. And what happens is, they seem not to be a political will, if I may put it, where the police themselves can get in there and try to retrieve those items, because there are people there, they're enclosed in this free, as you call it. They don't want to be exposed, and when they steal something, they get there and then it's done, it's gone. Why is it like this?
No, Alex, all comes with the personal growth, social exposure, until drug abuse as well, okay? Because for someone to acquire a drug, it's expensive, okay? So now, for instance, if you enter into a drug use, in the first place, you are going to use a small amount of drug in order to get the required result that you want. But later on, you would need a large amount of drug to get the intended result, like you started doing a year ago. So what happens? It's because they become slaves to these drugs, okay? And when they become slaves, every day they have to take a drug in order for them to do their, it's like a habit now, a tradition. So if they don't have money, they have to resort to go and steal in order to acquire a drug, okay? That's the only problem. They can't come out if they are what we call withdrawals, okay? In a medical perspective, withdrawals. If you don't take a drug, you cannot feel good. You start craving for that drug. When you take it, then you feel like you are in your own world. So that will force someone to go and steal or break into someone's house, or grabbing a phone from someone who is just walking, an innocent person on the street. It's because of that one. If you're using drug, judgment isn't okay, because there's a perceptual disturbances in the brain.
Chibolya is known to be a threat to society, Lusaka to be specific, where people are quite scared even to get close to the community. Are you comfortable being a councillor leading that community where people are in denial with the community together?
Yes, I am comfortable now, because we know that we're going to come up with solutions. I need to be comfortable because it is my community, okay? We need to change it. Those people, most of the people who reside in Chibolya, they are innocent people, because other people are just coming in Chibolya, and because of the name of Chibolya, okay, they think they can do any source of criminality. But now, we are coming up with better solutions of how we're going to manage that Chibolya. We're going to be to upgrade it. Then we are going to curb the criminality that is happening by, one, cutting the supply of drugs through DEC, Ministry of Health, and other law enforcers.
And by upgrading, do you mean changing the structures, or what kind of upgrade are we talking about?
It starts with the structure. You know, the structure themselves, which are in Chibolya, they are not desirable, you know. Yes, so it starts from there. When we change the structures, meaning that the mindset of someone who started, okay? So we have to work on that area. We invest in changing the structure. People are willing to come and help to change the face of Chibolya. They should come on board and change this, because this is it's affecting everybody. Yes,
for sure.
So it starts with the roads, sanitation, then education, health, all those. Rehabilitation. Yeah, sensitizing people, starting from homes. So we are planning to come up with a door-to-door campaign. Okay, this door-to-door campaign is to guide the parents, one, to identify the features of, to identify the features that what are the features that you know that a child has introduced himself into drug abuse? Those are the features that the parents should know, so that they are able to report. Where to report to? We need to have centers where they can report drug abuse. DEC we should also establish what centers. And most of people, when you mention DEC, the perception is that they are going to be arrested. DEC is there to collect. Okay. It's one of the agencies that the government has put in place so that they can rehabilitate people and also sensitize, prevent drug abuse. The most cardinal thing is what we have to work on now is prevention. If we don't prevent, means that the number will keep on increasing. Remember, it started with one person trading, but now there are over thousands of people who are trading into drug abuse in Chile.
Are the people themselves willing?
Yes, we have engaged a lot of people, residents from Chile, even those who are selling drugs. They are very, very much willing. We had an interview with a certain lady, I won't mention the name, she said, "Councillor, empower us. We are not happy to be selling drugs. What if DEX arrest me? Where am I going to put the child? My children, where am I going to put them?" Meaning that they are aware of the repercussions of drug abuse or selling drugs. Because when you are arrested with having selling or cultivating or whatever in drugs, trading in drugs, you can be arrested, can be convicted, maybe at least 2 years and above.
So where would you suggest that some of these DEC centers be? Is it within the community itself or maybe where? What place?
Within the community, these facilities should be accessible closer to the community so that they access it. And the DEC should be friendly to the people.
Okay.
The people in the community should be.
Let's just pick a call. We have a caller. Good morning. Okay, we seem to have lost that call. Yes, you can call through just to contribute and maybe share your experiences in terms of what was your experience with Chivolia compound, and so that the councillor can attend to you. The phone calls are open, so feel free to contribute. Yeah.
And Mr. Mwanza, do you think there is enough police patrol in the area? Because the time that I've done stories, they have seen residents complaining about inadequate police patrol, and they say they usually have to arrest the people themselves in mob justice and take them to the police station. What do you think maybe makes Chivolia different? Why do people think as if Chivolia is really a bad place, dangerous and all that? What's the situation? Is it that there's inadequate police patrols, or what is the situation?
Yes, I may say there is inadequate police patrols, but in recent weeks there have been a lot of patrols, but previously we had challenges in terms of police patrols. One, because most of the residents, they were not willing, to come on board to fight this drug abuse. But after engaging them, now you need local participation. People, they need to be aware why the police are patrolling. Then we found that now a lot of residents of Chivolia now are coming on board, and they are even helping. They are even helping to.
And just hold on, we might have a caller there. Good morning, and where are you calling? Mkwa batata mwashukeni. Mkwa pali ba kansela ba Mr. Mwanza. Twebe nishina noko mletu mina batata. Hello. Twebe ni kwa ishina noko mletu mina. Ishina liya noko mletu mina mwala chefe ya kofe na volume kuru. Okay. Mletu mina kufuma kuchivolia. Okay. You can go ahead, Mr. Kamfwa. Mkwai.
Seem to have lost that call.
Yeah, seem to have. He was actually calling from Chivolia.
Yeah. Yes, what it says, awaichana wachupasana.
Yes, awaichana wachupasana. It's a complaint.
Yes.
And he is not the only person.
Yes, there is.
Maybe just to follow up on that, let me ask in advance this question. People are calling for demolishing of the compound. You are not for the idea. Tell us, what are the implications of demolishing Chivolia, and why can't we start all over again with the compound?
Okay, I don't want to use the word demolition.
Okay.
I would use the word upgrading.
Okay. Tell us why.
So when you say demolishing, it may be just going and demolishing.
Yes, moreover, it's quite close to the central business center. So meaning, let's have industries there and relocate the community altogether from the outskirts.
No, we can't relocate them.
Okay.
Why? Okay. What we can do is upgrading. When we want to upgrade, we are going to engage the community itself. Okay. Yeah. So everything, if there will be issues of compensation and the likes, upgrading, it may also come that when you say relocation, okay. For instance, if you want to relocate people, we can build houses for them elsewhere. But now, if you, the same people who are trading to drug abuse relocate to somewhere, meaning that
you've just shifted,
without empowering them.
The problem.
So you have shifted the problem.
That's what they thought, Mr. Mwanza. Let's attend to the call. Good morning, and where are you calling us from? Mkwai. Niba come from? Mkwai. Okay. Bashuka shani ba come.
Masawa ndabaye mapango. Lakini mshawaita kwa mundu vendele boss. Osati polisi ende ya moto kataseruka. Mule mwa.
Mkwai.
Eko kia msalimu ngombe. Sasa walikwenda kwa yeye ndio kushana. Kwa kushana na tu kwa mkono wale. Kule kwa katawa mwana sawa. Tuacha wana ngampai mule wale shuka mmoja. Munjeni. Nomba wa polisi katendana tena kwa kule basi ni na weka. Mundu wao kushabakia kake ni wale sana. Bali ndio lishauri wa polisi. Mara ni mashani wa weke kujiji. Bara kumashani ndio. Abantu bali ya mchalo bali mama mapanga. Mama mapanga hata kwa shani mchalo.
So bakamfafisha mleta suggest that finga kapa bakansela bali pano things twinga chaze okay
so bakansela apele bakusho kwa hiyo mwanzo kwa kuomba masuala ya report so wana wafika hiyo kwa hiyo na wataka kingo kwa kwa na wao ndio wako bana kuwa tuani kwa jeli na ndio hapo kwa wako
okay
chama wako kwa wale wa kazi ya kiwa wala ya kuanzia kiti kwa bomba na hiyo wako kwa kitu wale kwa mwanzo ndio kwa mwanzo na hiyo
mkwa so tulelanda pa program so abantu balefatu ku bakamfa abantu balefatu ku itoba chibolya no kuikusha kumbi ushe tumwate mwachati tikaso tuitobe fye tuitobe twatotela bakamfa twatotela pamashua. Thank you so much.
But Alex, I think I like what the councillor said earlier, saying if we demolish Chibolia, we can demolish Chibolia, but we can't demolish the mindset of people. Meaning we have to actually change the mindset of people, because if we shift Chibolia, we're going to, if we demolish and shift the people, we're going to take the problem to another place. So I don't know what's your thought on that, basically.
The call has always been from outskirts. At least let it not be close to the towns. But
the problem will continue, and these people will be coming from the outskirts to go. They'll come to our houses at night and rob us.
I'm looking at it, Zipporah, is where all these programs that the councillor has, let's implement them while they are away from the business. So let's have the upgrading policy. Let's have the rehabilitation center from that place that will be planned for them elsewhere, because it's now the threat to the people who are passing through, heading to the town center. Okay, pick that. We have a caller.
Hello, good morning. You're through to Camnet Community Breakfast Show. Gwino ndima wandani zina mtu tumina kuti. Okay, contribution yanu.
Ina contribution yanga monga kanyo monga asiye chiboya yankalate ku bantu bali bono. So bakatamba ati chiboya ni banywe abantu iki no lokati la wameno ayo kwa so kamera hapa bali kumbaye ona kama kuandika watu kuja kutanga zote blogo show kupita babati wote mungu pita wote kuja banga kushe
so for na solution Okay, so ufuna ko solution ya bwanji pali chibolya? Ufuna ko solution ya bwanji?
Ita solution ya mmoja ya ndio kuja kuchibolya. Ni kufanya ile mapangilio ni mashoko mwe.
Oh, okay, ziko.
Ziko
Okay, ziko. So we have different views there over Chibolya, but I'm sure I would like to hear more. So I'm sure we're going to play a story, another story from Chibolya compound, talking about security as we get ready to welcome an NGO that is working in Chibolya compound. That is the Future NGO's co-founder, Mr. Clinton Gando. We're going to take a look at that story concerning security in Chibolya. But before that, Mr. Mwanza, what are your final words concerning Chibolya compound before we let you go?
Even just to attend to Mr. Kamfu and the last caller. Yes,
you know, the issue of demolishing, it may bring a lot of tension outside there. We don't want to demolish and affect people, you know, upgrading. I can give an example. If you are mopping out water from a drinking of, okay, there is no proper solution there. You have just to close the roof, okay, to prevent that. So now what we're going to do? Let's cut the supply of drugs.
Okay.
Then from there we keep on sensitizing and also empowering people, for the youths. Yes, and all those who are into drug, we identify them. We're doing that project of identifying those who are into drug abuse and their views. And most of them, they're very much willing to come on board and change. And what we need is only funds and resources. If there are funds, yes, of which I'm pretty sure that the government is going to fund this project of upgrading children. It's not only children, and even misses as well.
As you conclude, what's a projection of how long, what's the time frame are we looking at here in terms of implementation of your plans? How long should people wait to get a solution from the compound?
It is starting now. By January, in the next 3 years, you should see change. In the next 3 years, it should be a different children. And
we'll go with your word, sir.
Yes. We'll continue following up on the matter.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So there you have it. Mr. Mwanza was the councillor for Hari Mwangankumbula, right there in Chibolya. We've heard your cause and the contribution. Obviously, the councillor will take into consideration. As we play the story, sit back and do join us from the other side.
Okay.
Chibolya compound in Lusaka has earned itself a name as Sin City from the locals due to various criminal activities that take place here. From reports of open trade of illegal substances, sexual harassment, killings and daylight robbery, various security concerns have been raised about this compound. United Party for National Development UPND Hari Mwangankumbula Ward 12 Councillor Mr. Aaron Mwanza says it is high time that mental health issues were taken seriously in the country by placing counseling centers at every corner, attributing the criminal activities in the area to poor family upbringing. Mr. Mwanza, who is also a psychiatrist by profession, states that members of criminal gangs locally known as junkies usually come from child-headed households and other types of broken homes who resort to drug and alcohol abuse, resulting in criminal activities.
The problem in Zambia and in our community spaces, we are not taking psychiatry as part of health. There is a stigma in terms of psychiatry. All these are problem of mental health. So if we trade in mental health, all issues of gender-based violence, the issues of drug abuse and conduct disorders, we may keep them. So we need to, the Minister of Health and the government should come up with the deliberate what policy that we should invest and trade much in mental health, so that at least in each and every area we have got a point where someone can seek help in terms of counseling, and also let's be a trade in terms of awareness campaigns.
He further explains that he, along with other civic leaders in Chivolia, will carry out community sensitization programs on the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse, calling on concerned stakeholders to come on board.
Starting from here in Chivolia and all part of the country, because this drug abuse, Chivolia is a trading area. These drugs, they are coming out all over the corners of Zambia, and they're trading in Chivolia.
He concludes by saying that the problem of junkies can be solved with concerted efforts, not only in Chivolia compound, but in all parts of the country where this problem is found. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. So we're now joined by an NGO called the Future Foundation, an NGO working in Chivolia compound. Welcome to the show, Mr. Clinton Gando.
Thank you so much and good morning.
Good morning. And so basically today we have Mr. Clinton Gando, who's the founder of the Future NGO, which is trying to help youth in Chivolia. Can you just tell us your experience about working in Chivolia as an NGO? What has been your experience?
Actually, the brief background about our organization, we started way back in 2017, and the vision we had is to work with marginalized communities. You know, Chivolia is one of the communities which is being marginalized. So if you go on the ground, you find that they don't feel to say they are welcome to other people. They feel isolated. So whatever they do, it's sort of like a city within the city. That's how Chivolia is. So even that's why we find that the police and all the interventions which have been tried by different stakeholders, it's very difficult to put those people together with the other people within the city. It's very unfortunate to find also that that same area, Chivolia, it's on the transit area where people have to pass through the same area. So you find that people are taking a lot of advantage now to say, oh, that's a stranger. Because if you go there, you find that they don't attack anyhow, but they will attack someone who is a stranger. And you can also think to say, how do they get to know that this is a stranger? How do they get, because of the marginalization? Then the other thing I would say, it's about the complex problem. When we talk of complex problems, those are problems which are so difficult to anticipate with a key solution which we can put in place. We need appropriate institution. Like as us in our own capacity as an NGO, we have a social law which we can pray. Then as the police also, they have got their also security law which they can put in place. Then in the other aspects, we have got a lot of different institutions. Maybe the health, they can do part of counseling and the psychosocial counseling, coaching, and so on and so forth. So our experience, we as an NGO, we went to Chivolia just recently, this year. That's when we chose to say, let's make this place to be our targeted area. When we went there, it was hard for us to be welcomed. And we went through the trainings of managing for sustainable development. There are some initiatives on how you can engage with the stakeholders, because the situation is really not okay, that side. So we had to engage with relevant stakeholders, those people who have been there for a long time. We had to consult them, or like based on the situation, what are the needs here. There's this initiative which we have, we want to promote sports, we want to promote music, we want to promote also as well as drama. We were very fortunate, they welcomed us, but they had to tell us to say it's very dangerous here. With my colleagues, when we were going there, he was robbed. The laptop was taken away from him, the phones, but we are aware of the risks we are taking.
Did that discourage you somehow maybe from continuing?
Actually, we were more encouraged, because a lot of people, they are complaining over this, over the same issues over and over again. So what I may say, the problem which is in Chivolia needs to be separated on how we are handling it. Because if they see us as an NGO going there with the police, the next time we go there, they want to come us, they'll attack us to say, You are coming here just to Ndimwema Spencers. Because those are what they are saying. Let's hope Ndimwema Spencers, you are here to help, to bring a solution. So we need to be strategically as we try to solve the problem which is there. Then for the council, the local government, if they want to upgrade, let them also go as independent local government to just upgrade. Let them have a specific objective. If they try to mix up, you find that they will fail to convince the stakeholders. Or maybe
by mix up, you mean what specific?
The mixing up which is there, if you just try to marginalize the whole community, you find that other people there are good infrastructures, by the way, within Chibolia, if you don't know.
Okay.
So other people, they are not of the idea to say, those real owners of that place, they are not of the idea to say their places should be demolished. Because they have got also dreams within the same area. So maybe let me try also to talk about the things, because when we went there, I went for a research, the things which we had to find out. We find out that there are 3 categories of people there. Okay. Those who are marginalized also. There's this situation where those street kids we see in town, whenever they feel like they have grown up, they relocate to Chibolia because that's the area where they feel like they are comfortable. Then there's also another category of people, those who feel like when they are stranded, unemployed youths. When they feel they are stranded, those are like the peer pressure team. Maybe sometimes they are sent to school, then they get to meet friends who are into drugs. They are also the people who are found there. And those are the people who are robbing people, or maybe who are grabbing phones from people. Then there's another category which is a bit advanced. Those, they go there, they are masterminds. They use those youths who are in the middle. So if we are addressing the problem, we take the police there. The police will go there just maybe to handle these who are in the middle. I would say maybe these who are in between 18 and 25. The police will go and handle those. But how about these who are on the grassroots, the street kids, these who are vulnerable, who are orphans? How is it going to be sorted out? Then also, how about these masterminds who are sending those people to, who are providing markets to whatever the drugs, whatever the phones are grabbed, how also are they going to be handled in? So, you know, so I'm not here maybe to give the insight on how the police should investigate, but I would just say other people are innocent. If the police are investigating, let them investigate maybe the masterminds there. You get the point? So
calling for it, we shouldn't look at it in a holistic manner. We should now segment the groups that are in Chibolia and deal with them accordingly, because one approach will not solve the problem.
Actually, that's what I'm trying to say, because it's very complex. When you are, okay, in terms of problems, they are in categories. We have a simple problem, a complicated problem. A complicated problem could be where you have lost just your phone. Then you go to police, you report, and then they tell you, bring the complainant. That's a very complicated problem. Yes. Then we have also a chaotic what problem. A chaotic problem can happen maybe as we are mourning our MP. What happened was a car just bashed. That one is very chaotic. It's not complicated. Also, the good example I would give, when America was attacked by that, I don't know if it's Osama, I don't know. When it was just attacked, that's a chaotic. We need more people, like more investigations there. We cannot solve it out, but something has already, the damage has already happened. That's a chaotic problem. Then a complex problem, we find that it's a thing which is ongoing. The interventions will be competing ideas, you know. So when you have competing ideas, for you to have a concrete solution, it's very difficult. Because if we talk of even upgrading Chibolia, to who is going to provide the resources? That question also should come on board. Then getting also to say, if we target maybe these street kids, who is going to address these people who are masterminds? Because if those people, they are not addressed, meaning they will continue again sending these other people in the middle here. So there's what we call system thinking, and we have done the training anyway to address the complex problems, because the problems which are in Chibolia, they are social problems because of the system thinking. As I go maybe as someone who is a resident of Lusaka but not a resident of Chibolia, I have that mind to say, I marginalize to say this place is not safe for me. We get to look those people to say, like, I'm not welcomed here. And even them, they have a system thinking, which they say, we don't want to see a stranger who attack them. And also they have a lot of things which they have already, like, they have the police. have not managed to maybe identify the perpetrators. You understand? Eh? So that system thinking is what is causing the whole system to say, we fail, how do we intervene, how do we interfere? So as an NGO in our own capacity, we thought to say we need like social activities which can influence togetherness. We are friends with those people. Those are our friends, those are our relatives, those are our fellow citizens. So we bring them together. So when we went there, we had to tell them to say, we are promoting football, we are promoting music, we are also promoting some kind of drama where we can be entertaining together. And they came in numbers. They came in good numbers. And that activity was happening in Friday, this last Friday. But this is not the first time. Okay. It was, I would say it's the third time now we are doing that. They trust us, or maybe they trust our NGO because of when we go there, we've got one language and we mean well to them to say, let's find the root causes of what are your problems here in terms of the root cause. We've heard also from them. That's why we have to put them in categories. Like those youths who are in between, they need a lot of economic activities. They are complaining to say we don't have employment. Most of them, they are saying we are ready to do business, but the environment cannot welcome us. Then for those children who are down there, the first category which I mentioned, those they need social care. They need things like orphanage. Those they need things like, we need to support them to say they need to be in school. We need to ensure that. So our NGO is also working towards that. Then on the issue which I said, we need appropriate institutions. That's why we need a lot of stakeholders like these international NGOs. We also need like even the private sector, because resources, that's what we are talking about. If we talk of upgrading it, are we calling people to say put the money together or upgrade it? But maybe I would say if I call up to people to say let's put resources together, we address the issue of street kids, that category which is down there. We can manage to take them back to school. Then in this other category, which is the youth category, for those ones, we are interacting with them and we have provided some social activities, football, boxing, we need to also take them to the professional institutions because we are not into that.
All right. So yes. From the time you started implementing your programs, have you seen any change or positive response from the community themselves, comparing to the statistics, the number of cases in terms of criminal cases?
Actually, now Chivolia is open to people because those people, I would give you a very good example. When we had this activity which happened on Friday, we had to invite Camnet TV as well as other media houses. Even ZNBC was there. Okay. The reason why we invited them, it's because of Chivolia now is opening up. People were opening up in terms of saying, even reaching to an extent of confessing to say, because they use nyanja. Sindise malazo. Church malengesa, it's because of wamatonera mochabe. Stima crossing okafuna crossing Chivolia, wakona wakuchindwelazo ndwechani. So even as I mentioned earlier, marginalized, you know. So they are opened up. The reason why we called them, we called the media. Come and see how these people are opening up to in terms of starting to do business, in terms of working with us with our objectives. So maybe I would also explain the way forward within our initiative. Yes. Yeah, we have like a targeted group. Because of the resources, we are just targeting 300 youths. And in that 300, we have said, because a lot of people are found there, it's men or maybe youths. So we've said 100 will be women, because we also have families there, other people like women who are innocent. Then 200 will be men. So in those social activities, we registered them. We're getting to know the backgrounds. Where are they coming from? What really family background do they have? What are their, because they also have vision and dreams, you know? They also need to achieve something at the end of the day. That's why you find that they rob from people because they want also a need of a livelihood. So after having these social activities like football, bringing us together, you know, making us to be a social institution together, the next stage, that's where now we submit those people, we take them to say, okay, we are taking you, because our activities are happening within Chivolia, but next time we are planning to say, we can take them maybe to, it could be UTH, as maybe the council was mentioning, those what he was mentioning to say we need people, we need those centers for what? Yes. Centers. So it's now the law of our NGO to take them forward to say we are bringing these people a particular number of, maybe if they want 10, we provide 10. So another issue after the counseling and coaching, if those who, because we are also identifying talent there, okay. They are very much talented.
Due to time, maybe we can just conclude on this note. So we are discussing demolishing or other alternative. Are you for the idea of demolishing, and those plans that you have as an organization can be implemented elsewhere, not just there? What's your take on that note as you conclude?
In my own, in the capacity of an NGO, we don't have a comment on demolishing or not, because the problems which are in Chivolia, they are like collective problems. Even it's not just Chivolia. The same problems have now started in other compounds like Mrs. So in our own capacity is to ensure that we identify those children or maybe those youths who are stranded, or maybe we put them in the maybe cooperatives. You know, the government is talking of cooperatives. We don't just need people who have that ability. There are some people who don't have the ability, who never completed school, who don't even know where to register a cooperative. So it's our corporate maybe responsibility to ensure that we put them together.
Okay, we just thought we have a caller. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
There's so much feedback.
Good morning. Can you reduce the volume? We have maybe technical issues.
And are you the first NGO working in Chivolia, or maybe are there any other stakeholders? And in terms of empowerment, do you have enough empowerment to actually help the youth?
We have the capacity to train the youths. We have the capacity to coach the youths. We have the capacity to group the youths and maybe to change their mindset. When it comes to resources, in terms of monies, we don't have much capacity, because even in this competition we had to put our own monies. At the moment, it's a local NGO which is just trying to solve the complex problem which is within. Yes. So we can train them in terms of business, we can coach them out of there, but it will be also challenging if we don't give them resources like monies. So maybe it's the responsibility of stakeholders like the largest stakeholder is the government. It has been giving promises on that one. So that one we can submit to the government to say, here is the team which is well equipped. And also, it's not just the government. There are also relevant private institutions, as well as international NGOs. Because if they come, if we wait for international NGOs to come, they won't understand the real problems we are facing. But we ourselves, after interacting with those people, we partially come part of like those people, but we have objectives, not to fall into the, maybe to go into what they are doing. We have our clear objectives to change the situation.
And so we'll just take a look at that story on Friday, which Mr. Gando.
Before we do that, we have a caller. Good morning. You are through to Camnet. You are through to Camnet TV Breakfast Show. You can go ahead with your contribution by introducing yourself as well.
Okay.
Come again, please.
Mrs. Tembo.
Mrs. Tembo. Yes. Yes. You can go ahead.
Still the monitoring of Scotland, because they have not developed people that are there. So if people want, then everyone are going to person. So I would say the government is something that is right to what they are going, or they should expect it. All right. And people should be equal. And then so maybe if the person was put in place to guide Chivolia, I think those people plan to do very right.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, so she's just calling for, I don't think she's for the idea of demolishing, but she's calling for other alternatives that the government can put in place. So I'm sure she's one of those advocating for upgrading.
I see.
So maybe in just concluding remarks as we get to wrap up, is there hope for Chibolya?
There is hope because we heard from the people when we had that sensitization, when we have all the social activities with them. People like the youths themselves, it's them who are telling us to say we are ready to change. Even some of them, they're even telling us to say we are ready to relocate from this place. And then just the last one thing I would say about the whole thing of that problem, it's about developing the human capacities first. Then we link them to market and job opportunities. That's what it is.
We thank you so much. And that was the NGO that is trying to put up programs that will help the compound actually to bring about sanity. But Zipporah, any comment on the issues that the NGO before you play the story?
Yeah, I think maybe we need more stakeholders to come on board because as Mr. Gano has explained that the problems in Chibolya are complex. So I think actually it would be good if more stakeholders came on board, maybe to partner with the NGO so that we can find lasting solutions to this. And so we'll just take a look at the story that Mr. Gando was talking about, which happened on Friday, where they're trying to sensitize youths in Chibolya compound. Chibolya compound in Lusaka has remained a headache both to residents and authorities due to the high crime rate in this area. Reports of crime range from rape to daylight robbery at knife point by community gangs or lone attackers. While police have tried to control the situation by conducting patrols from time to time, reports have continued. The high levels of crime have been attributed to drug and alcohol abuse by the youth in the area, attributed to peer pressure, poor parenting, and the lack of funds to venture into economic activities, among others. While trying to find solutions to transform the youth in the compound and reduce the crime rate, a non-governmental organization aiming at transforming youth in Chibolya compound says the solution is to empower them as they have great potential for various activities but lack funding. The Future Foundation coordinator, Mr. Clinton Gando, was speaking during a sensitization meeting with the youth on the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse on Friday.
But the key objective is for everyone to have a livelihood. So we have also a business initiative which we have behind all these social activities, because what we need is to create employment at the end of the day. But before we get into that, before we even tell people to say stop the drugs, we have to create a very friendly relationship with them. They get to trust us, and that will also help us to identify the key needs of the people within the area. We have complex problems in Chibolya, so we are also calling various stakeholders like local NGOs, international NGOs. Let it be maybe even these like World Bank, UN systems, the SDGs. We are calling them on board to say let them also target Chibolya.
Meanwhile, Harry Mwangankumbula Ward Councillor Mr. Aaron Mwanza has called on stakeholders to come on board and help the youth to transform.
Most of these they drop out from school. Most of them they are also orphans and vulnerable children, and others they are being abused from homes. And others, they are also coming from child-headed homes. That's why they have resorted into going into drug abuse. And other people and other children, they are also exposed to see things we can say that can disturb their social perception in terms of mind.
In an interview, the youth have spoken out on drug and alcohol abuse.
I'd like to ask or appeal to the government engage us more into such activities that will help us stay away from these illicit activities.
Okay, so what causes drug and alcohol abuse?
It's merely influence, and sometimes kids just become stressed. That's why I'm rephrasing again. It's how they are raised up in their homes. So if there's no charity in the house, the kid begins to make those negative decisions. But merely it's peer pressure and group influence that causes it.
Anyone in terms of boxing I can do. Maybe if I'm an electrician I can do. You see? Then in terms of learning, I say I learn through my essays. So but in terms of fear kutira tava kutuafuata tuakwata. So once barasanga tava kuva kunangwa eva kwa bakambia so tuafuen koshano dabati once bare kutiakirira then futi na kungandanga wa havya shfuti na bena tabarista provide vile usirati na bena ba tabari kwanisha na bena barista fe. So manyenga asangwa muri situation yakutira tuapata kwa bakutuafu wako fe in terms of batubika feri. you can see things changes.
While sensitization is helpful in raising awareness, youths are likely to fall back into harmful patterns if they are not empowered to venture into various economic generating activities. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Activities that are taking place in Chivolia compound, I think there is hope for Chivolia. What do you think, Zipporah?
I think there is hope. We've had a wealth of knowledge from the NGO and from the council, and I'm sure government has heard out there and other stakeholders have heard, and I'm sure we're going to try to find solutions to the same issue.
Yeah.
So do let us know what kind of problems are facing in your communities, which would like us to discuss here via our phone lines. And until then, see you next time on the Community Breakfast Show.
Exactly. Bye-bye for now.